Good morning. I want to begin today with a truth that might unsettle you. There is no tomorrow. Now, don't misunderstand me. The sun will rise. The calendar will flip. The emails will still flood your inbox, and your phone will still light up with notifications. But tomorrow, as we imagine it, the clean slate, the fresh start, the better version of ourselves that somehow arrives magically overnight, that tomorrow does not exist. It's an illusion, a story we tell ourselves to escape responsibility for today. How many times have we said, "I'll start the gym tomorrow. I'll apologize tomorrow. I'll take that leap tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be brave." But tomorrow is just today's cowardly excuse. It's comfort dressed as potential. It's procrastination cloaked in possibility. Let me ask you, if you had no guarantee of tomorrow, what would you do differently today? Would you speak up? Would you show up? Would you slow down to hold your child a little longer? Would you stop numbing yourself with distractions and start chasing what really matters? We act like life is an infinite game, but our time is not infinite. And that's not meant to be frightening, that's meant to be liberating. Because when we truly embrace the idea that there is no tomorrow, we stop waiting. We start living. The cost of later. We've built a culture that glorifies later. We tell kids, when you grow up, you can do that. We tell adults, once you get promoted, then you can lead. We tell ourselves, once I have more money, then I'll give back. Once I have more time, then I'll rest. But later is where dreams go to die, the painter who waits until retirement to create. The entrepreneur who never starts because the timing isn't perfect. The friend who never says, "I love you," because the right moment never came. There is no perfect time. There is only now, and what we do with it defines not only who we are, but the legacy we leave. Urgency is not panic, let me be clear. I'm not suggesting you rush. Living like there is no tomorrow is not about frenzy. It's not about anxiety or panic. It's not about burning the candle at both ends or saying yes to everything. It's about intentionality. It's about waking up and realizing that today isn't just another Monday. Today is the only Monday you'll ever have exactly like this, with this sunrise, this weather, this age, this version of you. You are never going to be this you again. So how will you spend this version of your life? What if you're already late? I'll tell you something that most people won't. You might already be late. Late to tell your spouse how much they mean to you. Late to build the business you've been dreaming about. Late to show up as the parent your child needed last year. But here's the beauty of it. Late is still not too late, because if you're breathing, you still have now, and now is the only thing that has ever mattered. Redemption doesn't live in some far-off future. It begins the moment we take ownership of our delay. You don't get to choose whether you've lost time you already have. You only get to choose what you do next. The lie of readiness, some of you are waiting to feel ready. Let me tell you the truth. You will never feel ready for the things that matter. Love, leadership, forgiveness, risk, reinvention. None of these come with a green light or a warm-up act. They arrive messy, intimidating, and inconvenient. But courage is not the absence of fear, it's the decision that something else matters more than fear. When you decide that your purpose matters more than your comfort, you'll stop waiting to be ready. You'll start moving because waiting is costing you your life. Legacy lives in moments. People think legacy is built in decades. It's not. Legacy is built in moments. The moment you chose to be kind when no one was watching. The moment you forgave even though you still felt the pain. The moment you called your friend just to tell them you care. The moment you stood for something when silence was safer. These are the moments that echo beyond you. Not your resume, not your title, not your follower count. When people remember you, they won't remember your net worth or how many unread emails you had. They will remember how you made them feel. They will remember if you were present. They will remember if you were brave. They will remember if you lived like it mattered, not someday but today. Reckless hope. There is a kind of hope I want you to have, not cautious hope, not practical hope, not the safe bet kind of hope. I want you to have reckless hope, the kind that says, even if I fail, I'll try. Even if I'm afraid, I'll show up. Even if I don't know the way, I'll take the first step. Hope isn't a feeling. Hope is a choice to believe in a future that hasn't been written yet, and then to act as if you're part of the pen. You don't get hope by waiting for tomorrow. You earn it by risking something today. Your time is not a guarantee, we've all seen it. A friend taken too soon, a sudden diagnosis, an unexpected goodbye. Life whispers its fragility every single day. So why do we live like we're untouchable? Why do we gamble our energy on things that drain us? Our time on things that don't matter? Our potential on things that numb us? Every yes you give today is a no to something else. And here's the truth, no one is coming to save your dream. No one is coming to push you out the door. No one is going to hand you the life you want wrapped in certainty and comfort. It's your responsibility, your move, your moment, your meaning. Live like it matters. If there is no tomorrow, then this is the moment to speak the words you've been holding back. This is the moment to start the thing you've been avoiding. This is the moment to forgive the people you've been resenting. This is the moment to love wildly, serve deeply, risk greatly, and live unapologetically. Because today is not practice. It's the performance. It's not the rehearsal. It's the stage. You don't get another one. So live like you mean it. Live like you understand that there is no tomorrow, only this beautiful, precious, unrepeatable today. We live in a world addicted to the idea of tomorrow. It's a comforting notion, the idea that there's always more time. That if we don't get it right today, we can always try again tomorrow. That our dreams, our apologies, our breakthroughs, our better selves, they're all just one more sleep away. But that's a dangerous lie. Tomorrow is a mental construct. It gives us a false sense of security. It tricks us into believing we have time to waste, energy to burn, and potential that can be indefinitely deferred. But in reality, the only thing we truly own is today. Not next week, not next year, not some distant version of ourselves that finally has it all figured out. Just this day, this breath, this moment. Think about how often we delay action by telling ourselves, I'll start tomorrow. We put off difficult conversations. We wait to start the business. We hold back love. We silence our dreams. Why? Because tomorrow feels safe. It's a cushion, a crutch, a way to avoid discomfort, risk, and the fear of failure. But here's the truth. Tomorrow never comes in the way we imagine it. When we finally arrive at tomorrow, it's just another today with new distractions, new fears, new excuses, and so we repeat the cycle, pushing meaningful action further down the line, always waiting for the perfect time that never arrives. Living as if tomorrow is guaranteed is one of the most subtle yet destructive forms of self-sabotage. It keeps us passive. It makes us spectators in our own lives. It allows us to exist, but never fully live. But when we realize that there is no tomorrow, not in the guaranteed sense, everything changes. Suddenly, today matters more. Conversations matter more. Choices matter more. We start to value the people around us. We stop numbing ourselves with busyness and start paying attention to what truly matters. We become more present, more alive. There's a reason why people who have had near-death experiences often live differently afterward. They've seen through the illusion. They understand that time is fragile and therefore sacred. And so they live with urgency, not out of panic, but out of purpose, out of reverence for the fleeting nature of life. You don't need to have a brush with death to live this way. You just need to decide that today is enough, that you won't wait to be ready, that you won't keep delaying what your heart is begging you to begin. You are not promised tomorrow, but you are given today. Use it, cherish it, lead with it, love through it. Because when you live like there is no tomorrow, you finally begin to live like this moment is all that truly matters, and that's when everything starts to change. We've been taught to believe that later is a safe place, a waiting room where our goals and dreams can sit patiently until we're ready. But later isn't safe. In fact, it's one of the most dangerous words in our vocabulary. Later is seductive. It sounds reasonable, even responsible. I'll do it later. We say when the timing feels off, when fear creeps in, when discomfort shows up. It gives us a way out, not by saying no, but by saying not yet. And that tiny phrase, that little delay, becomes the graveyard of so much human potential. Think of all the ideas that never became businesses because someone said, I'll start once the kids are older. Think of all the love that was never expressed because someone assumed there would always be time. Think of all the songs that were never written all the apologies that were never spoken, all the dreams that never left the ground, because later seemed like a good enough plan. But later rarely turns into now. Why? Because our brains love comfort, they love certainty, and later allows us to keep the illusion of progress without paying the price of action. We get to feel good about having a plan without ever having to commit to it. It's procrastination wrapped in productivity. It's fear disguised as logic. But here's the brutal truth: every time you say later, you're gambling with something you can't get back time, and time doesn't pause for our readiness. It keeps moving quietly and relentlessly. While you're waiting for the right moment, the world keeps spinning, people grow, opportunities vanish, circumstances shift, and often, by the time we finally decide we're ready, the window has closed. The people who achieve extraordinary things aren't always the most talented or most prepared. They're often just the ones who refuse to wait. They act while others hesitate. They move forward even when it's imperfect. Because they understand something most people don't. You don't need to be ready to begin. You just need to begin. When you choose action over delay, you send a message to yourself and the world that your dream matters, that your voice matters, that you're willing to trade comfort for growth, hesitation for courage, and delay for momentum. And that's when things begin to shift. Because while later is a fantasy, now is powerful. Now creates clarity, now builds confidence, now changes lives. So stop putting your dream on a to-do list you never check. Stop telling yourself you'll speak your truth, write your book, take the risk, or say I love you when the time is right. The time is right when you decide it is. Potential doesn't die from failure. It dies from hesitation. So don't let your legacy be built on the things you meant to do. Make now your habit, because later is where dreams go to disappear. When people hear live with urgency, they often imagine chaos, rushing, stressing, constantly doing, constantly chasing. But that's not urgency. That's panic, and panic is reactive. It's driven by fear, scarcity, and anxiety. Urgency is something else entirely. It's calm, it's clear, it's grounded in purpose. Urgency is not about speed, it's about intention. Urgency is what happens when you recognize that time is precious and energy is finite. It's the mindset that says, this matters, so I won't wait. This is meaningful, so I'll give it my full attention. This is limited, so I will not waste it. You don't need a crisis to live urgently. You just need clarity. When you truly understand what matters, your values, your mission, your relationships, you stop drifting through your days. You stop being pulled in 100 directions by distractions that don't deserve your energy. You start showing up fully, deliberately, and unapologetically. Here's the difference. Panic wakes up and checks every message, afraid to miss something. Urgency wakes up and asks, what's worth giving my time to today? Panic says yes to everything. Urgency says yes to the things that align, and no to the rest without guilt. We've normalized living in a panic loop where busy is praised and burnout is worn like a badge of honor. But busyness is not productivity, and being constantly in motion does not mean you're moving toward the life you want. Urgency is about cutting through the noise. It's about pausing long enough to ask, what matters right now? What do I not want to leave undone? What would I regret not doing if I never got another shot? People think they need more time. Most of the time, what they need is more clarity. You can give years of your life to things that don't fulfill you if you're not urgent about protecting your time and purpose. Urgency is love in action. It says, I won't wait until the weekend to be present with my family. It says, I won't postpone healing until the pain gets unbearable. It says, I won't delay telling people they matter until it's too late. Urgency honors what's important before it becomes an emergency. And no urgency doesn't mean you never rest. It means you rest on purpose. You restore yourself because the mission matters, not in spite of it. It means you don't let your days slip by in autopilot, filling them with noise and numbness. You don't have to race to live urgently. You just have to decide that your time is valuable enough to be intentional with it. That's the real difference. Panic is chaos. Urgency is clarity. And clarity is what turns ordinary days into legacy. building moments,